You know, everyone talks about going viral, but let's forget that for a minute. Today, we're diving into something way more powerful: authority. I'm not talking about the kind you just claim for yourself, but the kind you actually earn. It's all about building a brand that lasts, a brand that becomes absolutely essential to its audience. And we're going to break it all down by looking at a real-world playbook from a company that has this down to a science. This quote right here really sets the stage for everything we're about to cover. In a world that is just so full of noise and, frankly, misinformation, trust isn't some fluffy nice to have. No, it's the absolute bedrock of a brand that's built to last. This one idea completely shifts the goalpost, right? It's not about just being seen, it's about being believed. And believe me, they have the numbers to back it up. So what's this number? 12,000? That's the number of custom products they've designed and delivered all across India. Now, that isn't just a stat, it's proof. It's a testament to years and years of deep, hands-on experience. So let's pop the hood and see exactly how they turned all that experience into unshakable authority.
Okay, so here's the big idea right up front. Authority is not something you can just announce. You can't just say, hey, we're the experts. It has to be engineered, piece by piece, through a really deliberate and consistent process. We're going to walk through their exact three-pillar framework, and then we're going to get into a clear, actionable plan so you can put it all into practice.
So, before we start building, let's get crystal clear on what we're actually aiming for. Brand authority isn't just about knowing your stuff. It's about becoming that trusted, go-to source that people think of first. It's not about saying you're the best. It's about having the receipts to prove it, consistently, over and over again. So, where do we start? Well, we start with the first pillar: unmistakable clarity. Think of this as all the foundational work. It's about making sure that every single touch point a customer, or even a search engine, has with your brand sends the exact same clear, consistent, and professional message. And getting that clarity really starts with the basics, with a solid digital foundation. First up, you've got to verify your technical setup. That means using tools like Google Search Console and something called Schema, which is basically just code that helps search engines really understand what your content is about. Second, you update your core pages. And third, you unify all your contact data. Your name, address, and phone number need to be identical everywhere. It seems small, but this simple consistency is so crucial for removing any doubt. And this is the real payoff of all that work. When every little detail lines up perfectly, from your address on some random local listing to the hex code of your brand colors, you remove all those tiny points of friction that might make a customer hesitate. The path to trusting you just becomes effortless. All right, with that clear foundation in place, it's time for pillar 2, the power of proof. This is where you pivot from all that internal alignment to demonstrating your value to the outside world. This is where you stop telling people what you can do and you start showing them with tangible, verifiable evidence. Now, this is a perfect example of proof in action. Instead of some cheesy sales pitch like, "We have the best materials," this company just helps the customer. They lay out a simple, honest comparison that empowers you to make a smart choice for yourself. That genuine act of helpfulness, that is an incredibly powerful form of proof that builds trust instantly. So, what does this proof actually look like? Well, it can be broken down into 4 really powerful categories. You can make your process visible. Show the behind-the-scenes stuff. You can share compelling case studies with real tangible results. You can let your customers do the talking for you through reviews and testimonials. And of course, you can share hard data that proves your scale and your reliability. And here's just a fantastic, concrete example of what I'm talking about. This isn't some vague promise. It's a story with real, specific details. 5,000 units, a super tight 10-day deadline for a real campaign. This kind of specific, verifiable detail is so much more memorable and persuasive than any generic marketing claim could ever hope to be. Okay, on to our final pillar, earning recognition. So you've established your clarity. You're consistently providing proof. The next step is all about getting other credible people and organizations to vouch for your expertise. This is where your authority really starts to compound and grow on its own. So where does this recognition actually come from? Well, as you can see, it can be customers leaving you glowing reviews. It can be professional partners choosing to work with you. It could be mentions in industry publications, or even just shout-outs from influential voices in your community. What's the common thread? It's always someone else singing your praises. So how do you strategically go about earning that recognition online? Well, one of the most effective strategies out there is what's called the topic cluster model. Instead of just publishing random, disconnected blog posts, the goal here is to become the absolute, comprehensive, go-to resource for a specific subject your customers really care about. Here's how it works. First, you create one big, definitive keystone guide that covers a broad topic from top to bottom. Then, you write several smaller, supporting articles that dive really deep into specific subtopics. And finally, and this is the crucial part, you link them all together. This creates a structured web of knowledge that signals to search engines, and more importantly to your readers, that you are a true authority on this subject. Okay, so we've covered the what and the why with those three pillars: clarity, proof, and recognition. Now let's talk about the how. The great thing about this playbook is it gives us a simple 90-day plan to get started and build some real momentum right away. This timeline lays it all out in a really clear, logical way. Month 1 is all about getting your house in order. That's pillar 1, clarity. Months 2 and 3 are focused on building out your proof with that in-depth content. That's pillar 2. And then at the end of the quarter, you focus on getting that work recognized, which is pillar 3. It's a real actionable roadmap. And this is so important to understand. Building authority is not a one-and-done project. It's a continuous cycle of improvement. You complete a sprint, you look at what worked, you learn, and then you begin again. It's all about constantly deepening your expertise and reinforcing your position as that trusted voice. So, what are the big takeaways here? This entire playbook really just boils down to 4 simple but incredibly powerful habits. Maintain absolute clarity in everything you do. Publish verifiable proof, not just claims. Actively work to earn recognition from others, and do it all with unwavering consistency. These are the habits that separate a fleeting trend from a truly lasting authority. And really, it all comes down to this one simple question you should ask yourself. When you look at your own strategy, are the things you're doing designed to build deep foundational trust? Or are they just chasing short-term attention? Because the answer to that question is going to define the entire future of your brand.